This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. If thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. There you go. So I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, and the blondest of the apostles, and elders of great millstone that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To you I say Shalom. And Shalom unto the hopeful elect, Kwam Yashal and above all. I'll start off with Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Just wanted to set the tone for the video that I'm about to show you. It deals with how can I say this? It deals with how the Edomites, the seed of Esau, his children, on how they have kept up an hereditary malice against the tribes of Israel, which is the seed of Jacob. And this is what we're reading, and also this is what we're about to see here on this TikTok clip. They have kept up an hereditary malice against Israel. And what does that mean? That simply means that hatred that Esau had for Jacob in the ancient world has been passed down onto his kids from generation to generation. And this is why you get interactions like this. This is why when you interact with Edomites, there's always going to be tension and strife. And if you do somewhat get along, you get along in wickedness, and that's a disaster. Right? You either become better criminals, or you have dirty sex, which you're not supposed to be doing. It's not good. It's not a good experience. And this is spiritual first and foremost. This is more spiritual than it is psychological and physical. So you have to understand this is a spiritual thing that is manifesting. And that's what Jake doesn't want to accept. Right? Jake don't want to accept that. So what you see here, man, I'm just going to give you a little synopsis. What you see here is a Karen canceling this kid's birthday party at the last minute. And she doesn't really have a good reason to cancel the party. She's just canceling the party because she doesn't like seeing a bunch of Jakes getting together and having a good time. And she's a Karen. She's white. I'm white, so you know what? I have the power to do whatever I want and fuck niggas. And she's racist. And the Israelite kid's parents are trying to get an explanation. They're trying to figure out, hey, what's the deal, man? Why are you canceling at the last second? Everybody came out here and you're just going to cancel like that? That's wicked. So she also goes on to say, I'm talking about the Karen, she goes on to say that she doesn't like the outreach that the party received, which I believe that's going into the attention it received on social media. And she probably saw that a lot of Israelites were getting involved, a lot of black kids. So she's like, fuck, hold up, I'm not letting these fucking niggas come here. Now, I will say this, dealing with Israelites, man, especially if there's a lot of them, it's annoying. And that's how the nations, and also the nation of Edom, feel. Like, it's annoying dealing with you Israelites because you guys are cursed. First and foremost, you're a cursed people. Whatever you do, especially whenever you put your hand to, yes, you're blessed, but the curses overtake the blessings. So when a lot of Jakes get around, yes, they're talented, they can do great things, but that comes with a lot of negativity you have to experience and embrace. So if these kids get together, most likely someone's going to smoke weed. Someone's going to bring a gun. Someone's going to bring a knife. Someone's going to throw a chair. Then there's going to be an argument. Something's going to get stolen. Something's going to get vandalized. Right? That's what happens with Jake, man. I'm telling you, it's true. Ninjas, man. So that's what she's thinking. Now, is it right? No, it isn't. But that's how they feel. And I'm not giving her an excuse. I'm not backing this Karen up. You know, she's wicked as hell. But that's how it is. So now you know why I started with this. Because thou has had a perpetual hatred, and that perpetual hatred runs deep, goes back to the ancient world, goes back to Esau versus Jacob. Esau being the progenitor of the Edomites, and Jacob being the progenitor of you tribes, you so-called Negroes, blacks, you so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, right? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Yeah, and you saw that so many times throughout history and throughout reading the Bible, man. Whenever Esau would interact with Jacob, it was always tacky, man. Esau's descendants interacting with Jacob's descendants, it was always tacky, man. Look what happened to us when we came out of Egypt, when we made our mass exodus out of Egypt. Even though we weren't at our strength, at our full strength, you had the tribe of Amalek, which the tribe of Amalek, they come out of Edom, which is their top tribe, because they're one of the dukes of Esau. When you go back into Genesis, the 36th chapter, it talks about that. They attacked us, man. They started killing the pregnant, the lame, the ones that were weak, that couldn't defend themselves. They just started killing us for no reason. We didn't do anything to them. So that's that perpetual hatred. And the reason why they have that perpetual hatred is because of how Jacob, he supplanted and he took the birthright and the blessing away from Esau. So they're angry about that still. You know, whether they fully understand the scriptures or whether they're spiritual, they may be spiritual, they may not be spiritual, they may not know. Talking about Esau, Edom, that hatred is just in them. You have to accept that, Jake. And that's what you're saying. What are you going to say? This is her trying to get that blessing back and that birthright back. She may not even know about it. She may not even care about the Bible, but that's what she's doing instinctively, right? She wants that blessing and that birthright back, but she can't get it. That's what it is, right? So, hey, this shows you the Edomites have kept an hereditary malice against Israel. And it's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. Now, I will say this, because when you go into Genesis, the 33rd chapter, it shows you how Esau and Jacob's relationship was reconciled, and how Esau embraced and kissed Jacob. And you didn't really ever see them quarrel ever again. So, you know, you can say that hatred that Esau had at that moment, it went away. It went away. It's no longer there. But that same hatred that Esau has, it's just been passed on down to his children, Salakia. So anyways, I just want to go into that. Let's go into Genesis, the 33rd chapter. And it says, Jacob meets Esau. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the two handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him. So embraced him. He's like, hey, how you doing, brother? What's up? And he says, and kissed him, right? So you don't see them arguing here, right? And remember, all the bad stuff happened prior. So he got over that. He got over that. You know, he accepted Jacob as his brother, and he kissed and made up. And they embraced each other, man. So you can say, you know, that hatred, it went away when you read this, and you don't see them fighting anymore. Talking about the two brothers. But that same hatred that Esau has or had, it went on his children. His children now have taken that on, and has been now handed down from generation to generation. So yes, Esau as an individual, you could say he changed. For lack of better words, okay? He changed. He changed his mind. He didn't want to hate his brother anymore. But that hatred is now on his children. So I'm just putting that out there, all right? Putting that out there. You may disagree, but from what we read here, it looks like he put that hatred away. Now you can say, you can go into Sirach 12, which I'm gonna get. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, because you're still not supposed to trust this guy. Because I'm also talking about now, and I'm also going into the scriptures, because Esau, man, he said a lot of things. He knows, I want to slay my brother. You can't trust an individual like that. When someone says they want to kill you and then all of a sudden they change their mind, can't trust a person like that, even if they kiss you and embrace you. Let's get that. Let's get Sirach. Actually, wait, did I finish that? Yeah, so I'll read it one more time. Genesis 33 and 4. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. So they made up there. And then he looks at his family, and then he meets his family, and they start talking and have a little dialogue. And they're all cordial with each other, right? They're friendly. So now let's get Sirach. Let's get Sirach, Ecclesiasticus Sirach 12 and 10. And it says here, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That's right. So never trust your enemy. You know, even though they said we've changed, we got rid of slavery. Oh, I didn't like what my forefathers did back in the past. You can't trust these devils, because these devils, man, they're still benefiting off of the fruits of slavery, the ill-gotten gains that their forefathers have gotten. They're benefiting from that, and you know what? They don't want to give that up. And rightfully so, because if they give that up, they're going to go down. They're going to lose it all. But you can't trust somebody that said they want to kill you, and then all of a sudden they want to kiss and make up with you. Can't do that, man. You can't trust that person. That person is unbalanced. They're double-minded, and they're wicked and evil, man. So you can't trust these Edomites. You can't trust Esau Edom. He's a damn snake. He's a damn snake. And you know, they're very, because you're black. You know, like I said, they're a snake. They're very cunning, man. And they have something called, well, this is what I like to say, they have something called luxury racism. You know, they give you racism in a tuxedo and a bow tie. So what does that mean? They come all politically correct, instead of giving you the real reason why they don't want you in their facilities. They'll just make up things, and they'll say it in a very eloquent manner. Right? Remember, it says his words were smoother than oil and softer than butter, but war was in his heart. It comes through that speech, making it seem like you're not the problem, but you really are the problem by the way he's saying it. And that's what this devil right here is doing. Oh, I don't like the outreach that this party received on social media, which when you translate that serpent talk, that just simply means, oh, I saw a lot of niggas posting. I didn't like the pictures that I saw. A lot of black kids. Man, fuck niggas. I don't like niggas. So, yeah, never trust thine enemy, man. Can't trust these people. She's a liar. They're liars. And they're wicked. So I'll read this again. Ecclesiasticus Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou hast known that his rust hath been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Right? Yeah. So the enmity they had against the people of the Most High is still and will always be rooted in their heart. And that's why the scripture says, thou hast had a perpetual hatred to them. And that to them is really talking about the Israelites. They hate the Israelites. And yes, you know what? The lady said it.
Outreach.
When you go into the video, she said that you know, if it was a group of white kids that was here, you would let them in. And you're right. It's true. It's true. But they don't hate their own like how they hate you. So you have to accept that. You have to accept that. All right, you got to accept that. Jake don't want to accept reality, and that's the problem out here. They don't want to take into consideration that these people really come from a heritage of oppressors, and because of that, you know, they come from a heritage of oppressors. That means there's going to be perpetual hatred that gets passed down to them. And I think Job spoke of that. Yeah, I think it's in Job, Job 27, heritage of oppressors. Let me get that out. Because these devils, they're going to teach their kids to hate you, and they're going to teach their kids to oppress you and keep you down. So you see that little baby, that Edomite baby in a stroller, man? That little Edomite baby that's in that stroller, he or she is going to grow up into a big devil. And he's going to oppress your kids and slander them and make sure they can't live a good life and have a decent job or whatever the case may be. Try and lock your sons and your daughters up. Man, that happened to me, man. They wanted to lock me up when I didn't even fucking do anything, man. I didn't even fucking do anything, man. And they'll find ways to do it, man. That's how these devils are. Falsely accuse you. Yeah, bear false witness. Yeah, man, that shit happened to me, man. And I cursed that judge too, and I cursed all those Edomites that were on that panel, and they've never been the same since, man. And that's another thing. You come up against the Lord's elect, you come against his servants, you're going to get judged. You're going to get fucking judged, man. All right, so this is Job 27. Job 27, and I believe it's 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High. Yeah, and it's twofold. This can apply to you Israelites, but also it applies to you Edomites, because you are the sons of the wicked. When you go into the book of Malachi, man, it says that you're the border of wickedness. But anyway, it says this is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors. Heritage of oppressors, man. Yeah, and you come from a long line of oppressors. You damn devils. You Edomites, man. Christopher Columbus, Francisco Pizarro, Simon Bolivar. You have Caesar Borgia, Rodrigo Borgia, Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great and his 4 generals. Because remember, the scripture says when the 4 generals put crowns on their heads, and then they had kids, and they began to multiply. Then it briefly says, then evils began to multiply. Right, so heritage of oppressors. Do you know what that means? If evils began to multiply, they went they went around in the earth, situated themselves, took down these other nations, and just spread chaos and disaster, man, and killed people, and oppressed people. And the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. That's right. So, hey man, you guys are just being multiplied for the sword, which really just simply means judgment. That's why the Lord has you situated all over the earth, and he has you having children, and he didn't do away with you yet. It's because you're being multiplied for judgment, for the sword, for death. And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. And you know, the chapter goes more into it. I'm not going to go into it. But this was just a quick lesson to show you that Esau, Edom, has a perpetual hatred towards the tribes, and that it's not going to ever go away until Yahweh Shem Yoshai comes back, takes them down, and brings in the kingdom of heaven. So with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, and the belongs to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom, and shalom unto the hopeful elect.